Hey, what's going on, RC drivers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start on our Traxxas Maxx project. Pretty excited about this one. We got a lot of very cool parts to install on it. If you haven't seen our intro video, make sure you check that out. I'll put a link up above. But today we are going to start by installing the optional servo available for this. We're going to put in a standard servo. It's got that monster size X-Max servo in there, but we are going to go put in a high torque standard size servo from Traxxas with their X-Max adapter kit, and it requires a little bit of alteration, so I'm going to show you guys how to do all that, and I'm going to do it on my new Traxxas pit mat here. This is a really cool mat that Traxxas just released, and it's got these little pockets where you put the screws and stuff like that. Really nice spot if you don't have anything to work on your vehicle on, and I'm also going to use my Traxxas tools for this. All right, let's head over to the bench and get this project started. So here's the Traxxas 400 standard size servo that we're going to put in. Here is that X-Max adapter to use a standard servo inside the Max. And then you're also going to need a servo horn. Now the servo horn that is in here has a very large spline to it, and obviously it won't fit onto the smaller spline of this standard servo, so you're going to need to pick up the servo horn as well. Now the one I'm using here is off of a Revo basically, and it's a composite servo horn, which I'm not like super excited about, you know, going into a truck that's going to be a basher, but I've used these before on my Nitro Racing Revos, and they held up pretty well. So we'll see how it goes here, and if I find a metal option, I might throw that in later on down the road. But this, at the very least, is what you're going to need. All right, so now with that out of the way, it's time to start disassembling the truck. And really, everything you need to disassemble is right on top here. I'm gonna start off by removing the center brace. That's just 4 screws. If you have any wires zip tied to it, you'll need to cut those zip ties off. Once I take that brace out, I'm also going to remove the receiver box top and the little cover for the wires. And then I'm going to move on to the servo itself. It's just 3 screws to hold in the servo and 1 screw to hold the steering link into the bell crank. With the disassembly work completed, I could go and remove the servo now. So I'm just going to slide the steering link out of the bell crank and just simply pull the steering servo up and out. And you'll have to pull the box top cover off of the receiver box. Just unplug the servo from channel 1 and you'll be able to go ahead and pull that right out. All right, I'm going to set that aside for a second, and now it is time to move on to this new steering servo that we're going to put into the truck. So what we're going to do next is prep our new servo for installation in the Max. I've already got it out of the box. By the way, these make great little parts bins, so don't toss those. Store your extra screws and stuff in there, and then take your servo and drop it into the adapter, and that's just going to slide right in. You're going to notice there is a little notch here that allows the servo lead to come out, and just place it in, so it faces that side. Next up, you're going to install the screws that they give you in the adapter bracket kit. Those will go right in. They're pretty long, but that will secure the servo down. And after you do that, it's good to go ahead and center out the servo. So turn on your radio, make sure the steering trim is centered at the dead center, and then plug in your servo into the receiver in the channel 1 slot. Turn on your radio, turn on your electronics, make sure it's all centered. You can shut everything off after that, and then you could go ahead and install your servo horn. So it will be centered out, it'll just drop right on. Then you also need a 3x10mm screw to secure that down to the output shaft. And once you have the servo arm on, you're going to want to swap over the steering link. Once you do that, you can go and plug in your servo back into the receiver, drop the servo into the chassis, and secure it with the retaining screws. Once your servo is screwed back down to the chassis, make sure you put the screw back into the servo link. Then go ahead and button up your receiver box and then reinstall the top plate. And now the only thing left to do is set your endpoints. Always good to check your endpoints so you're not overstressing your electronics. All right, guys, that's it. That's how you swap out the stock servo for a standard size servo in the Traxxas Maxx. It's pretty easy. Probably take you about a half hour to do, and with the regular Traxxas tools or any metric tools that you have on hand. All right, we've got some more work ahead of us. It's got to be a lot more fun in the upcoming videos, swapping out some of those aluminum parts. I am definitely looking forward to that. If you haven't done so yet, please click that subscribe button and the notifications bell. We'll see you back soon for some more RC Driver videos.